What's up guys, this is IceColdStarcraft and I'm doing a video for TGN Idol, and this is obviously going to be a StarCraft 2 video on a very odd map. This is a GSL map, GSL of course standing for Global StarCraft League. So without much further ado, let's just jump into the game for a little bit here. As the red Protoss on the left upper hand side of the map, we have DuckloadRa, formerly known as White Ra, probably more well known by that name actually. I'm not sure why he changed it, but a very good Protoss player. Just sending his scout across the map now, and over here as the yellow Zerg we do have coLCatZ, if that's how we pronounce it. That name does sound pretty familiar to me, but I can't say that I have really seen him play before or that I know that player. Now I haven't actually seen this map before, which is why I decided to cast it. Pretty cool Xel'Naga tower there actually. It's called GSL Belshire Beach, I believe, and it looks pretty nice. So no doubt I'm going to use this map and play against my friends sometime. But the spawning pool has gone down very early for the Zerg player. I didn't actually check what supply it went down on, but it was it was probably at 8. It was probably an 8 spawning pool. I'm not completely sure. I'm sorry I didn't check that. Here's the double extractor trick, and that if that drone went down, that would have been very careless. But probe just pulling away. Double extractor trick, a very early spawning pool. So the Zerglings are out already. And you know, when I cast these higher level games, I never really expect to see any cheese, which is kind of surprising right now. So what I can say is though, from the place that I got this from, cool Xel'Naga Watchtower, yep. From the site that I got this from, it had a very high rating, so I just assumed there would be no cheese unless this game takes some odd turn. Here's a gateway and a forge, so the Protoss player obviously feeling a little bit stressed here, and he's gonna actually, I'm kind of doubting this placement now. He actually had to cancel that and pulling some probes off there. I think the Zerglings would have almost committed if that photon cannon didn't go up. But yeah, the Protoss player could be actually damaging himself here. Actually, you know, I was gonna say that the Protoss player could have gone for a wall off over here, but I didn't realize that there are actually 2 ramps going into the expansion. So the Zerg is in a pretty commanding position, not economically, but just in terms of map control, because he does have an Overlord and a Zergling just right in the second base here. And now this is a little cool thing here with a little tree on top, a little overlooking ledge thing. I'm not sure what that's for, but it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely going to try this map out pretty soon. I can actually see the Zerg player is about to drop an expansion over here on 20 supply. So kind of an odd build, because he's actually not producing any more Zerglings. I don't know really what to say about that Zergling build. I don't really see that much, but again, you know, I don't really watch games which have such an early cheese, if you want to put it that way. By the way, this spawning pool is pretty cool with a little shimmery water. Anyhow, so back over here now, the Protoss has gone for a Nexus, so it looks like he is actually walling off like this across to the Nexus and possibly again over to the Vespene Gazer. So he's not going to need that much forces to defend it, but these Zerglings are going to be pretty annoying. There are pylons and cannons coming up closer and closer over here. Zealot almost getting picked out, but luckily there was a photon cannon just barely in range over here, and the Zerg player can't be too happy about this. Here's a little Scantipede. That looks kind of cool. Well, those are pretty big though. I mean, that's like as big as the Zealot. I wonder how big that would be, like if that could eat someone. Anyhow, so the Zerg player just sending an Overlord right across the map. I want to see someone run past these Xel'Naga Watchtowers though, because they look pretty cool when they come up. I'm going to play this game just to see that again. But as the Zerg player, no saturation over here yet. And neither does the Protoss have saturation here, but his Nexus isn't finished yet. And he is actually going for that kind of wall off with the Cybernet score over here. So it looks like he's going to be limiting the amount of space that the Zerg player can use to get past him. And this actually could be pretty good for the Protoss player. You know, he is on 2 base, the Zerg player is on 2 base, so the Zerg player is kind of in a position where you either attack or you go for another expansion. Now, going for another expansion might not be the best decision because that is a lot of minerals so early on in the game, and while Zerg players do expand early, that could be extremely risky because the Protoss player almost has the well, not almost, but I mean he can just chrono boost some probes, or he may just go for some army units. So it's basically going to come down to good scouting, which is not unusual. You will always need good scouting. But here are 4 zealots moving across the nice little beach here, just a little across that little water by that gold expansion. And this map just looks so beautiful. And this probe getting, actually I thought Zerglings were faster than probes. Is he going to get a little hit on him? Yeah, the Zergling's just a tiny bit faster than probes, and here are 4 zealots coming in. There's 1 Spinecrawler and a queen. He should not be in any trouble if he gets us around with these drones, which is what I would do. But the Spinecrawler is going to be enough, as well as that queen. 1 zealot trying to kill a drone though, so 1 drone has gone down. And I'm not exactly sure why the Zerg player didn't pull off some drones, because those Zerglings really weren't ready just yet. I think when the Spinecrawler and the Queen were fighting, he could have just pulled off some drones and gotten a nice surround and just microed the ones away that were about to die. So, but you know, I'm not as good as this player. I think he's Masters League, possibly Grandmasters League, but I'm not sure. I really can't say that I know this player. Here's an unfortunate zealot just being caught out of position. I think that was a bit of a micro slip there by the Protoss actually. And he does have this Alnaga watchtower with some green mist. Looks pretty cool. So the Zerg player does have better map control for now. He is sending Zerglings across the map. It looks like he wants to know if the Protoss has either another expansion or some hidden tech. Which, you know, sometimes Protoss may hide a little Stargate somewhere on the map, which is pretty annoying. It's not that common, but it does happen, and when it does, it's pretty annoying. So, here's an Overlord going to get picked off by 2 Stalkers. Obviously not moving the Overlord backwards now because it's not going to live, so moving it as far in as possible to see what buildings are going up and what tech route the Protoss is going to go for, which is not that diversified yet just because of that early nexus. But actually, now that I just said that, it looks like there is a robotics bay, so the Protoss has definitely made his mind up. And you know, the thing about the robotics bay, if you want to get a couple of Colossi, sorry, I don't know what just happened there. If you want to get a lot of them, you kind of have to go for thermal lances, and I'm not sure how early that push is going to be. So the thing about that is, it gives the Zerg player a little bit of time just to scout that, and if he can scout that, hopefully for him, he can get something done. Now this was a bit of an interesting play here. He was dropping some zealots around. I think he was also checking to see if the Zerg player was doing anything funny, but also to regain some map control. So the Zerg player, however, is going to take off that zealot, I think. And well, actually no, I'm not sure if he actually even saw that. But now a lot of Mutalisks here for the Zerg player. I wasn't actually looking in his base, so I'm sorry if you didn't see the Spire come up there, but the production tab was up. So he doesn't know exactly what is going on. Thermal Lance is on the way, and he is attacking the robotics facility. He does not want those Colossus to come out. There are a lot of Stalkers though, so this could be a pretty deadly combination. The reason for this is the Zerglings can go down extremely fast from those Colossi. Meanwhile, Mutalisks not going to be able to maneuver very effectively when there's such a high number of Stalkers, and they are guarding this robotics facility. So just that Colossus Stalker combination here is got to be pretty difficult for the Protoss now, and he's gonna wanna, what's this here, pathogen glands. He's gonna wanna have to do something, either diversify his tech or go for some different kind of strategy, because so far the Zerglings are just not gonna cut it. Now we have 4 Corruptors coming out and 2 Infestors. Now every time usually a Zerg player notices that Protoss is going to go for Corruptors and he doesn't have things to counter it, if he has a Spire up, he'll pretty much always go for those just corruptors, just because obviously the colossi are so tall that they can be targeted by air units. So 4 is kind of all you really need. You don't want to go overboard because the Protoss doesn't have any air units, but you do need enough to really get those colossi, while the rest of your army is fighting. So we'll see how well the Protoss player here is able to micro these colossi. But the thing about the colossi is, once you have those extended thermal lances, they're extremely hard to get to, just because their range is so high. And it looks like he's almost ready to go for an expansion here, but not just finishing the rocks just yet, hopefully, so the Zerg player won't scout it, or he just wasn't ready for that expansion. He does want the gold though, it looks like. There's an observer over here, and there's a Zergling standing up, so neither player really at a specific disadvantage or advantage. And now here's something coming up I just want to comment on. There is a Roach Warren right here just popping. I'm not sure if he's getting roaches to counter the colossi, not necessarily counter, but to go against the colossi. Sometimes what I do is, if I have a heavy Zergling count, say Zergling Muta, and I'm going against a build like this, usually I will go for roaches kind of later on than you're really supposed to get them, just because the colossi aren't as effective against them. And then I just pump out a bunch of roaches from then on. Now, a lot of Mulis just went down. There is a macro hatch in here, but I'm not sure if it's actually going to be able to do anything. Stalker's just blinking in and going to be taking out some of the economy, and may actually focus fire over here. There is an infestor. There's some nice fungal growth going on over here. He needs to get off some more though, just to really take down the life there, and a lot of Stalkers are collapsing. Not enough though. Corruptors are coming in to deal with this here, and Roaches are streaming in as well, but he has taken a lot of economic damage. How is he going to deal with this? So it looks like the colossi is going to go down pretty quickly, and are there enough Roaches to deal with the Stalkers? Corruptors not really doing much. There are only 2 roaches, 1 roach, no roaches left, and it looks like this base may actually completely get taken out. Both hatcheries. The Zerg player now, not exactly sure what he wants to do. He's still going for upgrades, which I'm not sure is the best move here, because he really needs to keep as much minerals as possible into making an army so that he can survive this. The Protoss player does have more minerals, and he does have 2 bases, and he's going to even it out right now by making the Zerg player also on 2 bases. Now, if the Zerg player were to expand here and actually get that done and get some saturation up there, he could easily pull ahead, but I really doubt that's going to happen because the Protoss has a lot of forces. He may end the game right now. And it looks like there are a lot of roaches and there are corruptors, but there are no more colossi over here. I don't see the roaches and drones being pulled off the line as well. So it looks like the Stalkers are actually just barely going to go down. Nowhere to blink off the back here. And no, I think the Protoss player is actually going to clean up right now. There are a lot of Stalkers. Nothing on the Protoss production tab, so he's I think possibly gas starved. I doubt. There's the Zerg player just dropping a face there, and there's the GG well played, sir. And DuckloadRa dropping a unhappy face and leaving the game. So it was a pretty interesting game, you know. I'm not sure why the Zerg player went for such an early spawning pool at probably 8 supply without even committing to cheese, and neither did he then transition onto a roach bust. So I don't know. Yeah, again, I don't know exactly why he did that, but nonetheless, the Protoss player played very well. He didn't actually overcommit to those colossi when there were too many corruptors and a Mutalisk on the field. So good play by both guys. Again, this was IceColdStarcraft, and I'm doing a video for TGN Idol. So if you like the video, you can like it if you want. Leave a comment with your critique if you want, or you can just message me. If you're watching this on my channel, then TGN Idol, I've already talked about this before, so you know what that is. And thanks for watching, guys.